Before we leave the marina, I just want to point out a couple of things. Right over here on the right-hand side of the boat, you're going to notice inside the boat slip a few houseboats. Just want you guys to know, especially those who's not from around here. These are not our home. Don't believe everything you say, guys, hear and see on TV. The Cajuns do not live out here in the swamp, okay? We live on the bayous and cities and subdivisions just like everybody else. These are our hunting camps. And during the wintertime, during the hunting season, we'll float them out of here on our hunting leases, and it's just a place to take our family and friends and pass a good time. This is what we call our camps. And right behind those beautiful houseboats there and right through the parking lot, you're going to notice our brand new hurricane protection levees. They just added 6 feet to the top of these levees in this area, just in time for the hurricane season. And just to give you an idea, when we get hit directly in this area by a hurricane, I've seen the water almost at the top of those white bricks over there by the few pumps. That's how high the water was for Hurricane Ike a few years back. So I'm hoping that 6 extra feet will protect these homes a little bit better than it has in the past. Up against the bank here, you're going to probably notice throughout the tour these beautiful flowers. These are your wild hibiscus. And we also have the trumpet vines. There's one little red one right above the water there, just so you know what they are when you see them. But they're only flowers that bloom in the summer here. You also have these lily pads right over here on the left. They make a beautiful yellow flower, and you probably see a few of those as well. Keep your eyes open throughout the tour on top of these levees. This is where you would see a lot of gators and a lot of wildlife. So the tour is out there, not in here. Don't even worry about me, guys. Just keep your eyes open out there. If you spot anything, please let me know. I'll be happy to stop. Alright guys, I want to welcome you aboard the Cajun Man Swamp Tours. I'm your captain, Billy Gaston, and I'll be your guide for the next 2 hours. This will be a narrated tour, so if you have any questions, feel free to walk up to me and ask your questions. But because of this motor behind me,
maybe it was a piece of wood. I thought it was a snake or a turtle.
So you would have to walk up to me to ask the questions. And I'm going to let you know right now, guys, if I don't know the answer to your questions,
a nutria?
I'm just going to make up something. It's something really good.
A bird.
And one way or another, we're going to pass a good time. And you know what they say. They say about all roulette in Cajun French means, let the good time roll! That's what the Cajun sounds like when we pass a good time. Elephant ears against the bank, so pretty. They get a lot larger than those. We're going to be seeing all kind of stuff today, guys. Have your cameras and iPhones ready to go throughout the tour because you're going to definitely need them. A lot of these wildlife birds, and especially the turtles, they don't sit around too long, so have your camera ready to go. My friends, we're in the Bayou Black area, which is part of the Bear Terrier Terrebonne National Estuary. This estuary extends from the Mississippi River all the way to the Atchafalaya River. The Atchafalaya River is located approximately 8 miles to the west of here. So if we were to take a right-hand turn just ahead and go right down that bayou there, we would be by the river. That's one of the reasons the water gets so high here in this area, especially when we have hurricanes and storms. This is one of the largest wetlands in the nation. It covers over 1 million acres. This is all part of the Atchafalaya Basin. It goes as far north as Baton Rouge, Louisiana, around the Morganza Spillway, and as far south as the Gulf of Mexico. This is all fresh water here in this area. Many local fishermen fish this area for the largemouth bass, the white and black crappie we call sockeye down here, and many species of perch and catfish. I personally caught catfish in this area over 60 pounds, largemouth bass over 7, and the crappie about 2 to 2.5 pounds. This is Christmas paradise. It's also part of the Mississippi Flyway. So guys, when we get these cold winters, it pushes the migratory birds north in the Cajun.
I think you said 90.
Down here,
60-pound bass.
That's why sometimes we have the best duck hunting in the world. And we definitely have the best fishing in the world every year. on. Anybody like to fish? Any fishermen? Man, I tell you, you're in the sportsman's paradise right here, guys. If y'all need any direction to some of the places where you can go fishing and have the best time of your life, they even have spots right off the side of the road where you can go catch fish, crab, and shrimp. Just talk to me on the way in. I'll be happy to let you know where to go. I like the beer and get a license. You don't have to pay anything. Listen, I'm going to charge you, okay? So right now, the more gators you're going to see, so it's a good thing. The first gator we might see, hopefully, will be T-Black. I named him after Mr. Black Picture. And this is a picture of Mr. Black right here on the wall. He was a great man. I'll tell you, he was a character. And he owned and operated this tour business for 26 years before he sold it to me 6 years ago. So this business has been in business for over 32 years, guys. And it's one of the most popular and the most beautiful areas around, I guarantee you. And right down the bayou from here, about 15 minutes down the road, I'm building a second location. So next year, hopefully by the first of the year, I'll open that location. And we're going to have kayaks, airboats, smaller boats for private tours. And I'm going to try to keep the big boat here as long as I can. But over there, if I have to, I'll bring it over there. It'll be a one-stop shop for all of the Cajun adventures. We'll have a gift shop and all kind of fun things to do while waiting to get on the boat. Now, I was born and raised here in Terrebonne, Ohio. I spent most of my life hunting and fishing right here in this area. I spent many days and many nights out here in the swamps. I know this area well, and I'll do my best not to get you lost in the swamp today, unless y'all want to get lost. How many of y'all want to get lost today? Raise your hand. All right, got about 5 people going to stay with me. The rest of y'all, good luck. I don't have to be back until Sunday afternoon, so I'm good. I do have a camp about 5 miles from here. Beautiful place right in the middle of nowhere. Great place to take family and friends. The first gator we should see is T-Black. I don't know if I told you, but Mr. Black did pass away 3 years ago. Last month made 3 years. He'll be sadly missed by many people throughout the world, I guarantee you. But I got a gator I named after him named T-Black, so I don't see him right now. Normally he comes to the boat as soon as he sees it or hears my voice. Let me see if I can call him for you. There's an alligator right here. T-Black! Over here! T-Black is a lot bigger than that.
Yeah, he's a
And over here on the left inside that pocket, I have a big 11-foot female, but she's not on, but near her nest right now. This is the nesting season for alligators. When they first come out of hibernation, usually around April, the first thing they start doing is looking for food and looking for mates. The male will mate with as many females as he possibly can. The female will mate once and then she'll move into the marsh and start finding a place to build her nest. And she'll stay near that nest area until the eggs hatch. That's usually around October. So I don't see black, so we'll keep moving. You know, if they don't show up, they don't get paid, right? The next one we should see will be called T-Big. T-Big means little boy in French. I give all my alligator Cajun names. So let me see if I can call out for T-Big now. T-Big! T-Big over here! Should be coming pretty soon. He usually hangs up right up here on the right where that tree's kind of hanging over the bayou. Now all that stuff you see hanging down from the trees, and you're going to notice this throughout the tour. This is what makes the Louisiana swamps and bayous so beautiful. This is not fungus like most people think. This is called Spanish moss. Spanish moss is an air plant. It grows on its own, takes away nothing from the tree itself. In the early 1900s, there was a market for Spanish moss. The Cajuns would come out here and collect it and sell it to manufacturers. They would use it for seats, for stuffing in the seats of the Model T Ford, and used in furniture, such as sofas, chairs, mattresses, and pillows. When I was a baby, I laid on a mattress my grandparents had. The mattress and pillows was stuffed with Spanish moss. And many people, including the locals, don't even know that Spanish moss does make a flower. I have a sample here. I'm going to show y'all what the flower looks like. And it makes a really nice beard for people like me that just can't grow one. I tell you what. I try. But you know what? I think I look more like the guy, lead guitar player, ZZ Top.
Oh, yeah.
But you heard about Dusty Hill, right? He just passed away a couple of days ago. But anyway, it does make a flower. And if you look in here, these are what the flowers look like. See them in there? So they're all over in there. They're not real pretty, but they do make a flower, and some of them, not all of them, will form a cotton in the center. And when they form the cotton and gets real fluffy, the wind will blow it into other trees. And whatever tree it lands in, it'll grow more Spanish moss. Is that cool?
It can be soft, but it is.
You want to be a rougarou? All right. Let me show y'all something else, guys. Something that y'all probably didn't learn in history class. I had a history professor on the boat about a month ago, and he didn't even know this. So I'm going to tell y'all something y'all probably don't know. These fibers here in the Spanish moss, the soldiers in the Civil War would take them and clean them up, and they would boil them to sanitize them, and they keep them in their backpacks. If they had a bullet wound or a stab wound, this is what they would use for stitching. Isn't that cool? Saved many lives back in the Civil War days. And if you know how to braid, you can braid it, make fishing line with it too. Isn't that cool? Here, happy birthday. So T Bug ain't gonna show up either, huh? Bug! Over here! And they had some idiot out here, I caught him the other day finally. In 2 years he's been shooting my gators. He shot 15 last year, including my 13-foot alligator T-boy. I'm still not over that one, okay? That was my main attraction. He was about 80 or 90-year-old gator. And then this year, about 2 months ago, I had 15 more floating in the bayou. And the other day I was a little bit further up and I heard some shots right on the corner. So I said, oh, that might be that son I was running right there. So I took off. He shot again, and by the time I made the corner, he shot right when I made the corner, and I hollered at him, and he took off. And 2 days later, there was 3 gators floating. So I know who he is now, so I turned him in. Thank God. Hopefully they do something. I also had 3 eagles go through last year. You know, that's going too far, man. That's a federal offense to kill an eagle. But anyway, over here on the left, guys, you see these beautiful lily pads. These are natural to this area. But the lilies on the right over here are not natural. These are Japanese water hyacinths. They were brought here from Japan during the World's Fair. And we've been trying to get rid of those things ever since. They clog up our waterways, become a nuisance, and the state of Louisiana spends thousands of our tax dollars every year spraying chemicals on them. The chemical does kill the plant, but it doesn't penetrate and kill the seeds. That's why they keep coming back every spring and cause more problems. The only good thing about those lilies there is that they make a beautiful purple flower. We have another alligator right on the edge of the bank over there. See that stump sticking out the water? He's about 6, 8 feet right behind that stump.
Where is it?
Over on the left, you'll notice this light green tree hanging in the water. Y'all probably seen these trees before. These are called willow trees. They grow wild all over South Louisiana. But what you might not know is that in the early days, the Cajuns made their own home remedies. They would take the bark of a willow tree to make aspirin. They also have delicious mushrooms that grow in a willow. The best time to pick them is in the winter on the early foggy mornings. That's when we'll come out here to pick them, and we use them in many of our Cajun districts. Some of the best mushrooms you ever had. They get as big as your hand, and they're call oyster mushrooms. You can fry them, put them in a sauce piton, lasagna, whatever you like mushrooms in. I guarantee you're going to love them. They also have some little trumpet vines. I call them hummingbird vines right here. These are the orange. They have the orange trumpet vines, and they also have the red. So there's a one red right above the water line right here. These are the orange, so they're really pretty this time of year. And then you see those yellow flowers I was talking about earlier that grows in the lilies. We have about 3 or 4 of them straight ahead. And we have a couple of them against the bank getting ready to bloom any day now. I'm going to pull up there if you want a picture of the flowers. Really pretty. These lilies are called the lotus, and the flowers are called the grandibole. The grandibole, when they finish making the flower, the leaves will fall off, and then it makes a big old seed pod. And there's about 15 to 20 seeds in the center. You can see some of those seed pods sticking up out the water right now, matter of fact. And in the seed pods, there's about 15 seeds, and you can pick them out of there and actually eat them. They are very, very delicious. If you like the sunflower seeds, you're going to definitely love these.
That one's done for. That's pretty cool.
He's the one that don't like to see it. This is yellow. He only shoots me if he's going to do it. Shoot my baby and my eagle. And there's a difference between a bayou and a canal. We're in a bayou right now, so that means that this was a natural waterway at one time. They did dredge it back in the early 60s to make it deeper and wider to get the oil barges through here. That's why they called this the barge canal. But a man-made bayou, like the one coming up on the right, this was never there. They dug that so they can put a drilling rig on the back end. That's why we call that a rig canal or a location canal. So South Louisiana and Texas are the two main states in our nation that produces oil and gas. If you look at a map of this whole entire area in South Louisiana, you're going to notice a lot of rig canals. Matter of fact, thousands of them.
Water looks different down there.
You can see at the end of this canal right here on the right, you can see how thick those water lilies can get.
Wow.
And when they get thick like that, you can't get to there with an outboard motor. You need an airboat or a mud boat, you call it.
Nah, it's a piece of wood.
Turtle? We have a truck being thrown and get a little bit deeper. A lot of boat traffic, waves, once we get it ready, a lot of boat traffic, same thing with the gate. Now this canal right here on the right, guys, was not dug by the oil companies, although they do use it for a pipeline. This is an old logging canal dug back in the early 20s or 30s. Williams Land Company still owns this land today, but they don't log it anymore. They was one of the largest logging companies here back in the early 1900s. They don't log it anymore because there's too many laws that protect these beautiful trees. Thank God, because this is what makes Louisiana so beautiful. And it's also a buffer against hurricanes and storms. But this whole area was heavily logged back in the early 20s and 30s. So most of these trees are no more than 250 years old. If you go closer to the river, that's when you see your 800 to 1,000-year-old cycles, and that's where my second location is going to be, right in the middle of the most beautiful swamp you've ever seen. It's like another world. Makes this place look bad. I mean, this is a beautiful place, don't get me wrong, but you got to see that second location. And you bed the tour and kayak right in the middle of those beautiful cypress trees. If you like to fish, some of the best fishing in the world is over there at the second location. If you have a camera or iPhone, you might want to get a shot right down the middle here, guys. Make a beautiful picture. At the end of the tour will be as far as you can see at the end of this canal. We're going to make a big old circle all the way through the swamps and come out the back side. We kind of move over a little bit. Shut back! Who wants to feed a baby?
I'm in.
You want to feed an alligator?
Yay!
You want to help them? So I can do it together. All right, hold on to your stick. Hey, baby! Come back over here!
Gary, the baby alligator. Is it going to jump?
He's about 5 foot. When they're first born, they're about 6 inches in length. They grow 10 to 12 inches every year until they get about 8 foot.
I got
These
that.
alligators reach about
Did
8
you?
foot. They
Yeah,
slow down
so
in
did I.
length and only grow about an inch or less every year after that. And then they get bigger and bigger around.
Apparently I have no photos or videos. Because your phone's not open.
You guys don't feed the little babies like that once?
That
You
makes
feed the
sense.
bigger ones according to their size.
Should have done it slow-mo. I can edit it.
Charlie!
Charlene? Is that what he said? No. Very Cajun. Oh, that's really nice down there.
Did you see that baby? I've never seen that. Pretty. It's ready. You want to see my video?
Charlie, over here!
Jelly? I think he's saying Charlene, but I'm not sure.
Well, we just turned off the main bayou. We're going to start heading deeper into the beautiful swamp.
We got a cool
This is
island.
The fresh water from the swamp drains into this main waterway. Many commercial fishermen stay this area for the catfish.
I like how the alligator just moved open.
Started as a little island. We've been seeing a lot of white-tailed deer on that island, so keep your eyes open as we pass by. Sorry? Flocon.
I think I see a gator over there, maybe. I saw something.
Over here on the left, guys, a beautiful swamp scenery. It's so beautiful in the spring when all the swamp flowers are blooming. And I can look at the plant life out there in this area and tell you, you can't walk out there and go completely over your head. And you don't want to walk out there in this area anyway this time of year, because this is where the female alligators build their nests. And lots of poisonous snakes out there, so you don't want to walk anywhere out here at this time of year. Anybody knows what that white sign means? I don't know, I can't read. Anybody knows? I think it means welcome. Welcome everyone. Bring your family and your friends and everybody. It's a sad world we're living in, guys. These people are trying to say that they own the water. You believe that? They own the water. How do you own water, guys? Golly.
Is that an alligator up there?
That might be Jolie, the one I just called.
Yeah,
Jolie, over here!
he's supposed to be a I think he just does what he wants. Oh, there's a big bird there. Yeah. There's that gator, you see it?
Yeah.
Take over here, this is a beautiful gator, probably close to 9 foot. And we have the great blue herring right here on the right. Beautiful bird. And they do get a lot bigger than that one. They're excellent fishermen. Talk about make a good gumbo too. Woo! Lord have mercy.
You could gumbo out of blue heron.
Oh,
he was joking.
Better.
A pot fry them with onions and bell peppers. You do a little better.
It kind of tastes like eagle.
That's a bigger.
Over here. Now we're gonna feed this one a few times, so I mean he'll feed as long as I'm here. So we'll try to get as many people as possible to feed.
Hey, come on. You're good again.
Hey, who wants to feed an alligator? Right. Johnny!
Those kids. Those just chicken
Hold on
skin.
tight, buddy.
Oh, that's a big
Where's your
gator.
mama?
That's a big gator.
That's your mama? Huh? Why don't you help him? You all together? All right. Put mom in the...
Where's he?
Ready? Whoop!
Whoa.
That was like a pro.
Way to go, Elliot. What up?
You been on a boat before? You remember how we did that last time?
Are you feeding him? Where'd he go? What up? Okay, look, he's got food here.
Oh,
Let me.
look at his face.
All can do it together. All right, ready? Whoop!
Oh, he does it when you tell him to?
What you let go for? Huh? Good thing I had my hand on that stick. You ready? Did y'all feed one yet? Johnny!
The chicken leg.
You want to do it too? Johnny! Your eyesight isn't that good. Whoop! Yeah.
Here comes another
I
one.
think y'all trying to take my job over here.
Where? Oh, here comes another gator.
Another one.
I'm just
Who didn't have a chance?
I was just such a baby.
Who didn't have a chance? Y'all want to do it together?
Sure.
Johnny! Let me, I bet. Oh, Lord, he already got it before I was ready, man.
I'm running.
Here comes the little one.
Look at Hannah.
Will you pose for a good picture?
Where did he go? I think this is a baby one, Ellie.
Who's that? That's that.
Maybe. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is.
All right, who else? Y'all ready? All right, he's standing up, so somebody got to hold on to him or make him kneel.
Hold on.
All right, there you go. Ready?
Did he get it?
We're going to try that one more time. How about that? You ready?
Here comes your
You
friend.
know when you drop my bait like that, you got to paint my boat. So you got to paint my boat. So you want to redeem yourself, you got to do it this time. Go ahead, hold on to that stick, man. Hold on to the stick. Ready? Whoop! Did he get it?
No, it's right there.
Oh,
Get it behind you.
y'all got a lot of painting to do, guys.
The meat is on me.
Y'all ready? Mom? That's your oldest daughter?
Yeah.
Y'all want to do it, Ellie? Y'all want to do it together? Mom and daughter, look.
Oh, that's
Ready? This is Snot. Y'all see that alligator right there with the messed up nose? We call him Snot. Snot!
Dang, that was fast.
Guys, y'all okay over here?
Is that another one coming? Is that another one coming?
Probably. Here comes another one over here.
Oh.
The other one right there.
Is there another one on this side?
Yeah, I guess a little bit.
I know there's one over here.
Main canal and all the boat traffic.
Alligators in his snot. Like boogers, like snot. Looks like he got bit. He's got a scar on his nose. What up?
Want a picture of that big one coming out of the water? Joey! Whoop. Whoop. And if you do a video, guys, and you play it back in slow motion, it's really awesome. Johnny, over here!
You can see it just like when he said that. Just went right to him. There's one there.
Over here! Whoop. This is Keeper Bay right here. That's my smallest one. Keeper Bay! Behind the clouds. That was long. That was different.
And bullfrogs. Right here on the right on this levee is where we saw 3 wild pigs about 2 weeks ago. No telling what you're going to see today, guys. Keep your eyes open, I'm telling you. I know everything is green right now, but if you look real good, you can spot a lot of wildlife.
Look in there.
Yeah.
Oh, there's gator there too.
There is. Yeah.
Or is it? Yeah. I thought it was a turtle for a second.
I love it's an alligator.
Hit the trail up. We're really going in here. Oh, this is pretty cool.
You know, I knew I should have put a little bit more gas in my tank. Don't worry, guys, I got plenty of titles for everybody. Everybody gets a or you can get out and walk about a mile straight ahead. You get to Highway 182. It's a long walk. Guys, if you notice against the side of the trees, right, the base line, you're going to notice these little pink things, and those are the eggs of an apple snail. This is what an apple snail looks like. They're very invasive. They're not good to eat. It's the only thing a coon ass don't eat. Oh, they're everywhere. Look on that tree right there. And you can also see a banana spider right there too. Look, you see the banana spider? They get a lot bigger. Look at that spider. Guys, these snails are very invasive. There's only one bird that eats these snails called the limpkin. And we never had limpkins in Louisiana until 4 years ago. 4 years ago was the first nesting pair ever spotted in Louisiana. They're originally from South Florida around the Everglades. I don't know how they got here, but thank God they did. They're just starting to put a dent in the population of these snails. We saw about 4 or 5 yesterday, so hopefully we get to see some today.
Do they have any idea what the population is? Like, any idea what that population is?
For the limping? No idea. I haven't heard any data on that yet.
What do those eat?
They eat the grass beds and the feed that's in the grass that the ducks and the birds like.
But they're from Louisiana, they were brought in.
No, most of them came from other areas, when, like if they cling to the side of a barge, tugboat, or most of them came when they opened the Morganza spillway to let the floodwaters down here. And also another thing that came down when they opened the spillway was the Asian carp. Those big old silverfish, they fly out the water. You'll probably see a few of those too.
And they eat other fish. They eat other
No, they bottom feeders. Yeah, they're not good to eat. They're real bloody and bony. Good bait, but we're infested with the Asian carp and these snails.
But that's also a problem by the north, where they call them.
North of Baton Rouge, Morganza spillway. What? You want to go catch some bullfrogs with Captain Billy? Let's go catch some bullfrogs. You ready? You brought your hip boot? You brought your hip boot. That's okay, because I used to walk that barefoot when I was a kid. See that green stuff on
You see the pink things from the snails? Yeah. I didn't notice that. That was
Believe it or not, that's called a swamp clover, and it is edible. You gotta clean it off the tree, just swamp clover, like this is. Can't do nothing else. What kind of
Porque al después de almorzar no podemos ir en the mornings a descansar o podemos regresar.
Guys, how many of y'all seen a television show called Swamp People?
Yes.
They filmed that show right here. Frenchie lives right through these trees. This is his backyard. This is an alligator I caught back in 1997. I've been hunting for 30 years. I don't hunt right here. These are my friends, but I do hunt family land about 30 miles from here. This is a 12-foot alligator that was eating all my white-tailed deer. I watched this gator come up the year before I caught him and grabbed about a 110-pound doe and crushed it into a little ball, took it across the levee, and stuffed him underneath the levee. Now, back then, the price was $48 a foot. Today, it's only $8 a foot. And from what I'm hearing, they won't even buy them from us this year because they still have hides from last year they can't sell. And the problem is there's too many gator farms out there. They're flooding the market. They don't need to buy them from us. But the gator farms get their eggs from our property. So we need to stop it. Get the price back up, then we'll let them come get some eggs. So this is a big 12-footer. This is some 13-footers. This sheet right here is 13 foot long.
Look at the size of that.
The gators is the.
Look at them big old gators, huh? It's a lot of fun, guys. We like hunting them, we like fishing them. We like hunting and fishing at the same time, I'll tell you. This will be a lot of fun. I didn't even hunt them last year. Let me show y'all one more picture before we leave. The same day I got the one that ate that deer, I went to another canal, picked up my alligator line. I caught this 140-pound alligator loggerhead snapping turtle.
Oh, watch this.
This is not an endangered species. I didn't want to kill him anyway because he was so old, but what happened was the wind knocked the bait down. And he happened to be there, grabbed the bait. He fought the hook all night, and it happened to be in his stomach, so he messed himself up. And he was almost dead when I picked him up out of the water. You ever seen a turtle that big? He did. Man. He was estimated to be about 180 years old, give or take 5 years.
Big turtle, 180.
They can live to be 250. This is when I was young and good looking. I don't know what the hell happened. 180 years old. He was 5'3" from the tip of his nose to the tip of his tail. My turtle? A ninja turtle. You ever seen what's the name of that show with Gaston? Gaston. One of the cartoon. Beauty and the Beast. With old Gaston. Gaston. Ninja turtle. Alrighty.
Now we got one more canal to go to. We got some other fish to feed over there, then we'll head in.
Good job, buddy.
Does he want a picture with his catch? I think he does. Yeah, by the soda table.
I'll catch them out here usually October. Before it gets
Here, alligator.
Yeah. Over here. Ready? Ready? Come on.
Medium. Yeah, I was saying.
Let's see Mike. Mike! I don't know what he's doing right here. He's usually Mike, over here! I called for Mike the other day over there. The dog was waving at him. His name must have been Mike. Over here!
Missed. That's gonna be really cool. I'm getting in slow. Yeah, slow-mo when he missed.
I got a 9 quarterback here, guys, named Ali. The same day that they shot my big 13-foot alligator T-boy and killed him, they shot Ali as well, but they didn't kill him, but they blew his eye out. See, we don't have an eye on the right side. He only goes by the sound of my voice and the sound of my motor. Believe it or not, he does know the sound of my motor. So he should be right up ahead about 400 yards on the right.
He missed. That's a pretty cool video.
It's embarrassing for him.
Yeah.
He missed like 3 times.
He missed twice.
Did he miss twice?
Yeah. I believe. It might have been 3 times.
I want to see that one-eyed gator he was talking about.
This bad boy really isn't that aerodynamic.
No.
Really should like put a point on it.
I think that's him coming straight ahead, guys. So here's my motor.
See a gator over there.
Right out in the middle.
Ali!
Right there.
Ali, over here!
Where?
Right up here on the left is a beautiful live oak tree. This oak tree right here is the same type of oaks that you see around the plantation homes. throughout South Louisiana. They make a small acorn in the white-tailed deer, and the squirrel feeds on those acorns. We also have this tree right here with the star-looking leaves. This is the redbud maples. It's the only tree that changes colors in the fall here in South Louisiana. And also these vines all the way up the tree there, this is some newer muscadine vines. So all kind of food sources for the wildlife and the birds and even the Cajuns here in Cajun country. Ali over here!
Going right at her.
Yes, he's there. He's there?
You'll notice he don't have an eye at all on the right side.
You think you can look at man on the chicken? Chicken for Ali.
Ali!
That's a big boy.
Want to feed that alligator?
Okay, take video.
Can't see him.
No, you gotta take it from back here.
Oh, I was gonna take this, but
Ready? Whoop!
you get it? Slow motion.
Fast forward.
Want to feed the big one? Want to feed that big one?
She was a baby.
Did you feed one?
Pretty good.
Nothing to do with you. Ali! Whoop! Who didn't have a chance? Who didn't have a chance? Ali! Ready? Whoop!
Still hauling.
Pretty good.
Comment on it.
I just wanted to see.
Alright. Y'all want to feed him?
You go ahead, Liam.
Feed him about 3 more times, guys. So whoever didn't have a chance will better come up here and do it. Ali! Whoop! Whoop! Oh, he got what a save!
Pretty sure I got that.
Are you gonna do?
What?
Are you gonna do?
We did together that first time.
That's sabotage.
That's sabotage. You gotta be still. Ready?
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I would like to have one of
Dale, dale. Come.
All right, guys, y'all had fun?
Aquí tiene los ojos, un chavo que trabaja conmigo, de dos colores.
All right, guys, thank you for coming. Take care, guys.
Thank you so much.
See you later.
Do you have postcards? Yeah, postcards.
Thank you. Nice meeting y'all. Come back and see me, buddy. All right, Father. Take care.
That was cool. We've been in the Bayou
On Cajun Man's Swamp Tours and Adventures.
Yeah, what an adventure and swamp tour.
It was worth it. I'd recommend it for anyone coming to southern Louisiana, which is not a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't think that many people vacation to specifically southern Louisiana.
I mean, maybe they do from Texas,
They
but
should. It's like the best place we've been.
yeah, that's a good place.
Like Arizona's got nothing on this.
Arizona's good.
No.
Don't say that.
No.